to order it. Let the record reflect 4 p.m. and all council members are present. Looking for a motion for our July 14, 2025 minute meeting.
Make that motion.
All right, we have a proper motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved as is. And we have public comment on agenda items up to 3 minutes. We have anyone from the public here in person or online that would like to speak?
No one online.
All right, we have no one online.
Do you want us to read?
Yes, if you're presenting, that's fine. Yep. All right, thank you so much. And we will start with our discussion action items. B, resolution noise special permit. Hoffman Brothers request to allow for the conducting work as a part of the combined CSO 19 on 1038 North Larch Street. Being here today?
Yep, thank you. So as you recall, the last time we were here, we presented, the council approved the noise waiver for the project back in April. But they didn't have the staging yard established yet. And so they're asking for the noise waiver on Saturdays through the end of November to operate out of that yard. I have had several conversations with residents in that area that are concerned about the noise and the dust. We've talked to the contractor, and they've agreed to take some measures to mitigate some of this, some of these issues. So they're watering the site 3 times a day in the dry weather to keep the dust down, and they've taken some measures to be a little more careful on how they work with their dump trucks when they dump materials. And so I've personally been on site and seen them, taking these measures to try to mitigate some of these problems. So yeah, they're asking for work at this site from basically now until the end of November to use that site. So.
I have no further questions, so I make the motion to approve the noise waiver.
Any discussion?
So just real quick, so what kind of feedback did you get from the surrounding residents? I mean, was there quite a bit of pushback or regarding the noise?
I've had one man in particular spoke at council, and he was very concerned about all the noise and everything and the dust. But we've tried to, and this is not just Saturdays, but it's basically all during the week. And so we've kind of worked with them to try to mitigate some of that. I have had a couple other calls, but I've only actually spoken to the one resident that actually showed up at the public hearing. He did contact President Cost, and I communicated back to him and just let him know of our mitigation efforts on how we're trying to deal with the situation. So
The other individuals that you didn't speak to, did they leave messages? Do you know where their stance was, regardless if you actually spoke with them?
they were also, I think it was 2 other emails that I received that were in opposition to. Based on what they've been.
So you received 3 correspondence total with all opposing?
Well, I think in the official record, there was only 1, but I have received other emails that were in opposition, so.
Thank you. All right, we have a proper motion. I guess I have a question. So this project is a different area than the staging yard. So it sounds like these individuals, the residents are concerned about the staging yard. How does that affect the project area? I mean, do you have to use this at the same time if you're going in the special noise?
Yeah, I mean,
Or can you do this at a different time and make sure the project area is?
I mean, I have spoken to them, and they can make some different arrangements, but it's a logistical issue. They do have some other potential places that they could operate out of. but, you know, it's a little bit of a hard thing to separate like, they've got a different area that they're running another CSO project out of that they're looking at the potential of combining the two, but it's, you know, they have to get another lease to expand that yard. And so I'm not sure about this particular yard, how long their lease is for. But they have an agreement with the property owner that's behind these houses and to use it. And it is zoned industrial. So I've conferred with our planning and zoning department and they confirmed that the use that they're using it for is allowed per the zoning code. So, um, yes. Oh,
So you can finish and I'll. Go ahead.
yeah, so I think they do have some options on, changing, but you know, it's a little bit of a logistical effort to do that. So.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Spatafor.
My question, or rather point, would be, they're still gonna use the lot, whether we approve the waiver or not. The waiver just allows them to use it on Saturdays.
Correct.
Residents, we heard from the residents, they wanted us to sort of ban the use of that property for the staging, and that's not what's on the table here. So
Correct, yes.
yes, our list is just making it pair up with the noise waiver that's in place for the construction, right?
Correct, yes.
Well, the individual who came to council also said, because we know it's being used that way, we don't want this on Saturday too, because it's all throughout the week. So that was the comment. They do understand the differentiate between, you know, that it's the proper use. All right, with that being said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And it still will go forward, on Monday.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
All right, we have resolution C, noise special permit request for Public Service Department for allowing rehabilitation for Pleasant Grove and Homes to, Pleasant Grove from Homes to Mount Hope Avenue. Thanks for being here today. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Scott Cook with the Public Service Department. We met last, the Public Service Department is requesting a noise waiver for this project to work on Saturdays. We have since that meeting, we've bid the project. Bids have been received. We're in the process of awarding it. So we anticipate starting construction late August, early September. We anticipate 10 weeks of construction, which will take us up to basically the 1st of November. Potential for inclement weather in the fall. We're anticipating the need to work on Saturdays to keep the project on schedule, not have to pave in inclement weather, substandard weather into November. I attended the public meeting virtually and I did not hear any opposition to it. I'm not aware of any correspondence in opposition to it. I did respond to one resident who emailed a comment in when they received the notice of the meeting. Their comment was related to construction equipment and vibration. It wasn't specific or was not related to Saturday work. And they actually noted that in their correspondence that, their questions, even though they were responding kind of to the noise waiver, wasn't related to that. It was, they were concerned with the vibration. They had experienced a lot of vibration issues on a major reconstruct sewer project about 10, 15 years ago. They wondered if they were going to experience similar. So I corresponded with them and said, no, this is not as extensive of a construction project as a deep sewer project. This is more of a surface restoration type of a thing, or milling, paving, doing sidewalk and spot carpet gutter repairs. So they responded with thank you. So they didn't ask any more questions. They seemed to appreciate the response. So
Fantastic. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, just real quick, obviously, most of you guys know that they're gonna have that big project right there on the corner of Pleasant Grove and Homes. Have you guys been in coordination with them to make sure that we don't have a new street that gets ripped up for, a sewer tie-in or whatever they may need over there?
correct, we have. I say we're struggling because they're, I think, fairly early in their process.
Sounds like they may start November when your project wraps up, and I hate to see this street get ripped up again.
No, exactly. In fact, they sent correspondence either yesterday or today, just asking to say, okay, how can we come together to get the utility work basically done within the road so that it's outside the road so that we can finish our project. And so we'll be following up with them soon. I know they've submitted site plans and they're not through with that process. In other words, I don't want to say we rejected them, but we've got comments. So we're still waiting for them to address those comments. So
Hopefully you can start towards Mount Hope and work your way that way. So if it doesn't work.
so we've been in contact and we're both on the same page that we would both like to get that work done ahead so that we don't have to tear into a new road. But obviously we have other processes we have to follow too with the site plan reviews and things like that. So but we're working on that.
Good question. All right, yes,
I
sir.
want a question. I know the noise waiver is through November. What I missed was the project will be complete this year.
Correct. Yep, we're scheduled to complete. Yep.
Like,
All in, do we have a motion? Get
I'll
a
move
vote.
approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And we have liquor license, community circle players.
I assume that will be on.
Yes, that'll be on the 11th as well.
Sorry about that. Yep.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Thank you. So, oh, all right, so we have liquor license, community circle players, DBA Riverwalk Theater, new, let me see, request for club license, new Sunday sales permit, outdoor service area and dance and entertainment permit. And who do we have here today?
I'm Alan Greenberg. I'm one of the board of directors and one of the people leading the work on the alcohol license. With me is Abby Takaki, who is our business operations manager for the theater.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being here today. The floor is yours.
Thank you. As you talked about, we are community circle players doing business as Riverwalk Theater. We have been the center of amateur performing arts in the Greater Michigan, Greater Lansing area for over 60 years, 37 years at our current location. We are moving forward with seeking a liquor license, in particular club license, for basically two purposes. One is to enhance the theater experience for our members. Times have changed over the last 20 years of what people expect when they go to the theater. And in looking and benchmarking around the state and nationally, most virtually all establishments similar to Riverwalk, where we own our building and our own theaters and community theater, have added alcohol as an offering. The second part of it is really a revenue enhancement piece. In today's uncertain times of revenue generation from so many different matters, just to give an example, we have one significant grant that we had received for 20 straight years that last year they just said, sorry, yeah, we're not giving it out. We're not giving it to you guys this year. So we also have the need for revenue enhancement, and this will also help diversify our revenue sources. We have spent, this has been something we've been looking at for close to 3 years. And I will tell you, in all openness, there was a lot of resistance to this early on, even looking at it. Over the last 18 months, we have done 15 trials using our special license to understand what's involved, how it would proceed, be able to show the members, how it would minimize disruption. And at the meeting that was required in order to apply, out of all those in attendance, we ended up only having one dissent. So it really, the members are behind it. We are looking at a club license, frankly, because general licenses aren't available, and on the secondary market, they are just too expensive at that point. The payback period would be like 20 years. And the club license will work well for us. We really are a local/regional theater. We have approximately, I guess, 70 to 75% of our attendees are members. And so this also helps us enhance our membership program and provide a new offering to encourage people to become members in supporting the theater. Let's see. Certainly glad to answer any questions you may have, but in a nutshell, that's where we're at.
So our financial barrier to membership is very low. It's only $20 a year.
Join. Always went as a child and have great.
Not with a $20 membership, but if you take a high enough level membership,
I think
absolutely.
once you hit $1,000, then yes.
A lot of great memories. Well, thank you so much for coming here. Do you guys have any questions?
I just got one. Is this for beer and wine or liquor as well?
The state, Lara does not distinguish in a club license, so club license is either everything or nothing. Our intent, at least for the first 6 to 12 months, the first season, is beer, wine, seltzers, ciders, which is really what we've been trialing, just to minimize the complexity, be able to get our hands around it, and make sure that we have everyone fully trained up on the I know Safe Serve is a brand. We're using a different vendor that's accepted, but the Safe Serve alcohol management policies, and making sure that everything's in place. We do have several bars in town that have expressed that are already making specialty drinks themed around our shows for their use, who've said they'd be glad to partner with us and work with us if and when we're ready to move in alcohol, broader alcohol offerings. But initially, our plan is beer, wine, cider, seltzer.
A lot of planning and well thought out. So thank you so much for that. Need a proper motion? Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, well, Monday too?
Yep.
All right, we'll see you Monday.
Good. Thank you very much.
We have resolution liquor license, La Mulata Private Events, 534 South Martin Luther King, transfer of ownership escrow 2025 Class C and SDM license, new Sunday sales permit, outdoor service, dance, entertainment, extended hours.
She was contacted and said she would attend, but she is not here today.
Okay. I would like to speak with them because I thought they were going to be here.
Yeah.
So we'll just bring this on the next meeting then. All right. Any other business? All right. No other business. We are adjourned.
All right, so